Sarah Boone, the ironing board revolutionary, 1892. Picture this. It's laundry day in 1892, and you're trying to press a fitted dress on a flat wooden plank. Frustrating, right? Sarah Boone knew that struggle all too well. Born into slavery, Sarah Boone would become one of the first African-American women to receive a United States patent. But her journey to that achievement was anything but easy. After gaining her freedom, she worked as a dressmaker, spending countless hours trying to iron the elaborate women's fashions of the Victorian era on those primitive flat boards. The original ironing board, patented back in 1858, was nothing more than a horizontal wooden block. It worked fine for flat items like tablecloths and men's shirts, but women's clothing? That was a whole different ballgame. Those fitted bodices, curved sleeves, and narrow waistlines needed something better. So Boone got to work. On April 26, 1892, she received patent number 473,563 for her improved ironing board. Her design featured a narrow, curved surface that was specifically shaped to fit women's garments. The board was also reversible and collapsible, making it easier to store in small homes and apartments. But here's what makes Boone's story even more remarkable. She accomplished this during an era when both women and African Americans faced enormous barriers in business and innovation. The patent office was dominated by white men, and for a formerly enslaved black woman to navigate that system and succeed was truly groundbreaking. Today, every time you pull out your ironing board, you're using a design that traces directly back to Sarah Boone's innovation. That narrow, curved shape that makes ironing shirts and dresses so much easier? That's her legacy, sitting in homes across America and around the world. Marie Van Britten Brown, pioneer of home security, 1966. Let's jump ahead to 1966, to a neighborhood in Queens, New York. Marie Van Britten Brown, a hardworking nurse, spent many nights alone at home while her husband worked late hours as an electronics technician. The neighborhood had a serious crime problem, and here's the kicker. When you called the police, they often took forever to respond, if they showed up at all. Marie wasn't the type to just sit around feeling scared. She decided to take matters into her own hands and create a solution that would give her peace of mind. Working alongside her husband Albert, Marie designed an ingenious home security system that was decades ahead of its time. The system used a camera mounted on her front door that could slide up and down to peer through 4 different peepholes at various heights. This meant she could see whether the person at her door was an adult, a child, or even someone crouching down trying to avoid detection. But Marie didn't stop there. The camera fed video to a monitor inside her home, essentially creating one of the first closed-circuit television systems for residential use. She added a 2-way microphone so she could talk to whoever was at the door without opening it. There was a button to remotely unlock the door for welcome guests, and most importantly, a button that would immediately alert the police. The Browns filed their patent application in 1966 and received patent number 3,482,037 in December 1969. Their invention laid the groundwork for the entire modern home security industry. Those doorbell cameras you see everywhere today? The video intercoms in apartment buildings? The remote door locks and instant police alert systems? Marie Van Britten Brown pioneered all of these concepts more than 50 years ago. Her innovation came from a real need and a refusal to accept feeling unsafe in her own home. Garrett Morgan, the traffic light innovator, 1923. Now let's talk about Garrett Morgan, a man who only made it through elementary school but whose inventions have saved countless lives on American roads. Born in 1877 to a formerly enslaved father, Morgan moved to Cleveland, Ohio as a teenager with just a dime in his pocket. He taught himself how to fix sewing machines and eventually opened his own repair business. His curiosity and mechanical genius led him to improve the sewing machine design and later invent the gas mask, which saved numerous lives during World War I and in firefighting operations. But it was a horrific car accident that sparked his most famous invention. As Morgan drove through a Cleveland intersection in his own automobile, he witnessed a terrible collision between a car and a horse-drawn carriage. The existing traffic signals only had 2 positions, stop and go. There was no warning system to tell drivers that the signal was about to change. Morgan realized that this sudden switch from go to stop was causing accidents. Drivers had no time to prepare, to slow down gradually, or to clear the intersection safely. So he designed a new system with 3 positions: stop, go, and an all-directional stop that we now call yield, or the yellow caution light. On November 20, 1923, Morgan received patent number 1,475,024 for his T-shaped traffic signal. His design included that crucial warning interval that gives drivers time to prepare for a stop. This simple addition revolutionized road safety across America and eventually the entire world. Morgan later sold the rights to his invention to General Electric for $40,000, a substantial sum in the 1920s. Today, his 3-light system is the standard at virtually every intersection in the United States. Every time you slow down for a yellow light, you're benefiting from Garrett Morgan's life-saving innovation. Frederick McKinley Jones, master of refrigeration, 1940. Ever wonder how fresh strawberries from California end up in grocery stores in New York? Or how your local supermarket keeps tropical fruit available year-round? Thank Frederick McKinley Jones, one of the most prolific African-American inventors in history. Born in 1893, Jones was orphaned at a young age and had to educate himself. He had an extraordinary mechanical mind and taught himself electronics, mechanics, and engineering by reading books and taking things apart. His curiosity and self-education led him to secure more than 60 patents during his lifetime. In the 1930s, Jones was working on various refrigeration projects when he saw a major problem: transporting perishable goods long distances. Sure, you could pack things in ice, but that ice would melt, the food would spoil, and entire shipments would be ruined. The American food supply chain was limited by how far you could transport fresh food before it went bad. Jones got to work designing a portable refrigeration system that could be mounted on trucks. His invention used a roof-mounted cooling unit that could maintain constant temperatures regardless of the weather outside. He received patent number 2,303,857 on December 1, 1940, for his refrigerating apparatus. Jones co-founded the U.S. Thermo-Control Company with a business partner, which later became Thermo King, still a leading brand in transport refrigeration today. During World War II, his invention proved crucial for the war effort, preserving blood for transfusions, medicine, and food supplies for troops stationed across the globe. His invention transformed American life in ways most people never think about. It made possible the modern supermarket, the restaurant industry as we know it, and the entire farm-to-table supply chain that feeds our nation. Alexander Miles, making elevators safe, 1887. Let's go back to 1887 and talk about something we use without thinking: automatic elevator doors. Before Alexander Miles came along, riding an elevator was genuinely dangerous. Picture this: you're in a building with an elevator shaft. To use the elevator, you had to manually open 2 doors, one for the shaft and one for the elevator car itself. Then you'd get in, manually close both doors, operate the elevator, and then manually open both doors again at your destination. Sounds simple enough, right? Wrong. People constantly forgot to close the shaft door. And when someone forgot, unsuspecting people on other floors would walk straight into an empty elevator shaft and fall to their deaths or suffer serious injuries. These accidents were shockingly common in the late 1800s. The story goes that Alexander Miles, a successful African-American businessman in Duluth, Minnesota, was riding an elevator with his young daughter when he noticed the shaft door had been left open. His daughter nearly walked right into the empty shaft. That close call motivated Miles to find a solution. On October 11, 1887, Miles received patent number 371,207 for his automatic elevator door system. His design used a mechanism that automatically opened and closed both the elevator car door and the shaft door simultaneously when the elevator reached each floor. No human error, no forgotten doors, no tragic accidents. Miles's design became the standard for elevator safety and is still the basic principle behind elevator doors today. Every office building, apartment complex, hotel, and shopping mall uses technology that stems from his invention. His innovation made vertical living practical and safe, enabling the construction of the skyscrapers that define American cities. James E. West, The Microphone in Your Pocket, 1964. Pull out your smartphone right now. Inside it is a microphone co-invented by Dr. James E. West, an African-American physicist whose invention is in 90% of all microphones manufactured today. Born in Virginia in 1931, West developed a fascination with electronics as a child, even after a dangerous accident where he nearly electrocuted himself experimenting with a radio. His parents wanted him to become a doctor, but West had other plans. He pursued physics and landed a job at Bell Laboratories in 1957, one of the premier research institutions in America. Bell Labs gave West an assignment: develop a microphone that was more compact, more sensitive, and less expensive than the bulky condenser microphones that were standard at the time. Those traditional microphones were costly to produce and required heavy, complicated power supplies. Working with his colleague Gerhard Sessler, West invented the foil electret microphone in 1962. The breakthrough was using a special type of material that could hold an electrical charge permanently, eliminating the need for external power. This made the microphone incredibly small, highly sensitive, and cheap to manufacture. They received patent number 3,118,022 in 1964. Just 4 years later, their microphone was in mass production and being installed in hearing aids, tape recorders, telephones, and baby monitors. Today, West's invention is in your smartphone, your laptop, your tablet, your wireless headphones, and virtually any device that records or transmits sound. West held over 250 patents during his career and continued working into his 90s. His invention democratized communication technology, making it affordable and accessible to billions of people worldwide. Lewis Latimer, Lighting Up America, 1881. Everyone knows Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, right? Well, that's only part of the story. Lewis Latimer, the son of formerly enslaved parents, made the crucial improvement that turned Edison's invention from an expensive novelty into a practical technology that lit up America. Born in 1848, Latimer served in the Union Navy during the Civil War. After the war, he took a job with a patent law firm in Boston, starting as an office boy. But Latimer was a gifted draftsman with an incredible ability to translate ideas into detailed technical drawings. He taught himself mechanical drawing and patent law, eventually becoming the firm's head draftsman. In 1880, Latimer joined the U.S. Electric Lighting Company, one of Edison's competitors. At the time, light bulbs had a serious problem. They burned out after just a few days. The filaments, made from materials like bamboo, would quickly burn up or break, making electric light impractical and expensive. Latimer went to work on solving this problem. He experimented with different materials and designs, eventually developing a carbon filament that was more durable and longer-lasting than anything available. On January 17, 1882, he received patent number 252,386 for his process of manufacturing carbons. His carbon filament could last for months instead of days, making electric lighting affordable and practical for average Americans. The invention was so significant that Edison himself hired Latimer in 1884 to work for the Edison Electric Light Company. Latimer became one of the few African-American members of Edison's elite research team, known as the Edison Pioneers. Every time you flip a light switch, you're benefiting from Lewis Latimer's innovation that made electric lighting a practical reality for homes across America. Mark Dean, Building the Modern Computer, 1980s, 1999. Let's bring this journey into the computer age with Mark Dean, a man who helped create the personal computer revolution sitting right here on your desk. Born in 1957 in Tennessee, Dean showed exceptional talent in math and science from an early age. He earned a bachelor's degree from the University of Tennessee, then a master's degree and PhD from Stanford University, one of the top engineering schools in America. In the early 1980s, Dean joined IBM as a chief engineer, becoming part of a 12-person team tasked with building IBM's first personal computer. This wasn't just any computer, this was the machine that would establish the standards for the entire PC industry. Dean led the development of the industry standard architecture, ISA, bus, which allowed components like printers, modems, and other devices to plug directly into computers. He holds 3 of the original 9 patents for the IBM PC, released in 1981. His work helped establish the open architecture that allowed the PC industry to explode with innovation. But Dean wasn't done. In the 1990s, he led the team that developed the first gigahertz processor chip. Before this breakthrough in 1999, computer processors operated at megahertz speeds. Dean's team created a chip that could process 1 billion cycles per second, a gigahertz. This massive leap in processing power enabled the modern computing era of streaming video, complex software, and high-speed internet applications. Dean also worked on developing the color PC monitor, transforming computers from green-screen text machines into the multimedia devices we use today. He eventually became an IBM Fellow, the company's highest technical honor, and held more than 20 patents. Mark Dean's innovations are in virtually every personal computer, laptop, and server operating today, powering the digital age we live in. Thanks for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We will love to know the country you are watching from in the comments section, and if you have any video ideas that you will love us to work on, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments section. See you soon in our next videos.